to the INvets Next Mission podcast. I am your guest host today, Jasper, Veteran Engagement Manager for the Southern Region. And for today's episode, I have a great, phenomenal company for you. One of our valued employer partners, Jasper Engines Transmission. So I have three great people here, and I'll start introductions to my left.
So my name is Jason Raker, and I am part of our People Services Department. Been with the company going on 7 years, and I handle, as part of my role, a lot of outreach and engagement. So that's where I'm connected to this group and this project.
Hi there, I'm Mark Balsmeyer. Been with Jasper Engines this month will be 22 years. Worn a lot of different hats with our company. Started off in inside sales, been in manufacturing leadership for 12 years, led our continuous improvement throughout all of our organizations. And then here recently for a couple of years, I've been working with our IT department to basically build our own homegrown ERP system.
My name is Charles Gentry. I've been with Jasper Engines for just about 7 years now. I'm currently with the Jasper Production System Department, and what I do is focus on continuous improvement.
Okay. So, what's the history behind Jet? Like, how did it start, and where has it gone, like from back then to where it is now?
Yeah, so we started in 1942, founded by a gentleman named Alvin Ruxer, who lives from just down the road.
Okay.
Actually started in his old, at the time he had a Ford dealership here in town. I mean, it's a mile and a half from here as the crow flies, maybe less. Started it in one of his wash bays, and it was actually called Jasper Engine Exchange.
Okay.
So basically taking people's old units and making them better and replacing them. So what we do, and we've been headquartered in Jasper, Indiana ever since. What we do is we remanufacture automotive drivetrain components, so things that make a car go, gas and diesel engines, transmissions, differentials. So taking broken, or basically, for lack of a better term, taking broken units, bringing them back here and making them better, with the goal to meet or exceed the original equipment manufacturer's specifications. So nationwide, we've got 53 branches across the country, so a national footprint, but everything is headquartered right out of here. We have another manufacturing facility in Crawford County, Indiana, and then we have one in Missouri as well, in Willow Springs, Missouri. Okay. Otherwise, the heartbeat of it is right here in Jasper.
Awesome. So with that, you all three have been with Jasper for a number of years, Jet for a number of years. Why? Like, what's your...
I think for me, I got out of high school, I went into the military, so I kind of experienced away, came back to Jasper, got my college degree, went away again, came back, settled down, had kids. Was working for another company, happened to lose, they cut back in leadership. I lost my job. I came here kind of out of necessity. But then once I got here, I just loved the culture. It's such family oriented. We're all about giving back to the community. So for me, it was a natural fit, and I've been given an opportunity to take on different roles. So I just feel like, they've always been there to help develop me as a person.
Okay. Charles, you?
Yeah, so whenever I was growing up here, my mother worked in other various factories within Du Bois County. And I remember we were coming into town, going shopping at Kmart, and we made a loop around, and she pointed over at this building. She said, "If you ever have to work in a factory, I want you working in that one." So they treat your people right, treat their people right. My mother had never worked here, but through association, people did, and everything that they preached about it, she knew that it was a good place. So I moved to New Mexico at 17, lived there for 18 years, got married, had 2 kids there, and me and my wife were looking to get out, go somewhere else other than New Mexico, get out of the desert. And so we did a cross-country trip, and we stopped in here, and my wife fell in love with it. So we went back to New Mexico, started looking for places to work, and found an opportunity online that they were hiring, applied. About a month later, I was up here with an interview. A month later after that, we moved.
Awesome. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, so I don't know anything about cars, and I don't have a degree in HR, but they hired me anyway. I worked at a newspaper for almost 16 years, so some of this, and I left that because I didn't enjoy it anymore. I didn't want to write anymore. But some of the skills are transferable. So the skills I had there worked for an HR role, a recruiting role, an outreach role. And I knew some people that had been here. I talked to them, asked them a lot of questions, and similar to Mark, I mean, the culture is different. We're pretty open and saying it's probably not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. And the best way I can describe it is it feels like everybody's pulling the same direction.
Okay.
And to me, that's different. I worked at another manufacturing facility about a year and a half between my stop at the newspaper and here at Jasper Engines, and it was a 180 from here. It wasn't the same. So that culture, and then that ability to, I will probably work for another 15 to 20 years, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be here because, like Mark said, you can do other things, right? Like if I get tired of doing what I'm doing, there's other opportunities in this building or within the company that can keep me interested and challenge me and work I can enjoy.
Now, what type of positions does Jet typically hire for? I mean, I know there's very diversified company.
A lot.
You mentioned sales, and then
We've got so I mean, I've got a slide I give the student. I show students and all the jobs that are in a manufacturing facility that they don't think of. But I mean, from entry level, as assembly, disassembly, you're talking hands on the product, manufacturing positions, up to inside sales, outside sales. I mentioned our branch operations. IT, we have our own clinic, we have pilots that work for us, and we have our own construction department, we have various engineers in different areas, so skilled trades, things that require no degree post-high school, things that are maybe a technical skill or degree up till, people that are far smarter than I am that have business or engineering degrees, so it's really across the board. It's pretty broad in terms of the kinds of people we recruit and the kinds of jobs that we hire for.
Okay. Well, it's obvious evident that military, prior service, or people that have served is a huge value to Jet. So what's your YouTube background? What's your background? What branch and what did you do and all that stuff?
Okay. For me, as I mentioned, went into the military after high school, so that was back in 1985. I was on a 4-year enlistment that happened to be cut short with an injury that I had during my service. So I only actually spent 2 years, but that was in the United States Army. Did my basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. Then I went to the 3rd Infantry Regiment, which is better known as the Old Guard. So that's the Army's pomp and circumstance. We would do the company that I was with. We would do burials throughout the day. Do that 10 months out of the year, and then we were an infantry division, so we would do about 2 months of field service and cover those requirements. Being there in Washington, D.C. Meant that we had to have like urban assault training and things that we could quickly react to protecting Washington, D.C. as well. So wore a lot of different hats, during that time, but yeah, it was cut short.
Okay. Charles?
Whenever I was 21, I was living in New Mexico, sitting there watching the nightly news, and it popped up. a guy named Raymond White from Elwood, Indiana, was killed in Iraq. Raymond was my childhood friend. He was killed in an ambush right outside of Baghdad. So I felt like I had to fill some shoes. And so I joined up with the New Mexico Army National Guard as a chemical specialist and did one tour in Iraq and then got out in 2009.
Well, thank you both for your service. Obviously, that's important, especially with Veterans Day approaching us soon.
And you as well.
Oh, thanks. I said it takes a community, right? That being said, what are some things that you could tell people to kind of, I guess, guidance you can give people that are getting out of the service? Like, as far as how they can best position themselves in today's market. I guess you can speak on that too, Jason, since you see many people.
The advice for me, I knew, I was taking college courses when I was in Washington, D.C., while I was in the military, and I knew I always wanted a degree, so just the way things happened, I ended up coming out, going to IU. So my acclimation, a little bit different, but I think when, oftentimes back in those days, that 4-year degree was really being promoted heavily, of being really important to getting your foot in a door. And I'm very proud of that degree, but I look at our company, and as I've grown to know what's available with the workforce and what we're looking for, we're just really about disciplined people, individuals that can show up every day, give your best, be willing to learn. We have structure, we utilize a lot of standardized work, so for some it's a little too rigid, but for military folks, you're used to that, you're getting inspected and you're doing, all those things throughout your military career. So I find it very comparable, to what I was used to there. And I think that's one of the things that I love about it.
Okay. What about you?
Oh, my advice to anybody transitioning out, I'd say hit the career seeking hard and fast, preferably before you're out of the service. That way you're kind of more stabilized, knowing where you're going to be going, what you want to do. I think my biggest fault whenever I got out is I didn't have retirement as a mindset. And so I worked a lot of various jobs. It wasn't until about 3 or 4 years after I got out of the military I actually utilized my GI Bill. So I went to college, got a degree in welding, and kind of found my career path from there, and that led me up to here. But start planning before you get out. If you haven't done so, plan as soon as you get out and try to prepare yourself for retirement, for life.
Okay. Jason?
Yeah, I would echo. I mean, a lot of what Mark said, just relay and show that you can. I think we tell people all the time, if you can just show up and have a good attitude. And I think another part of that is being patient. Just because you are where you are now doesn't mean that's where you're going to be in 6 months or 2 years or 10 years. Especially at a place like where we are, we promote a lot from within. There's a lot of learning opportunities. There's a lot of growth and development opportunities. And that can be hard for people that are either young people or people transitioning from one stage of life to another to say, I'm going to put in a year doing this job, thinking about where this may lead me, right? That it can be tough to be patient. So I think that's important as well.
Okay. Now, all three of you are in the area. What are some of your most favorite things to do around here? I kind of delve off a little bit.
Fishing. Fishing.
Okay. Favorite spots? Any spots you want to recommend?
No, I'll keep those secret.
Okay. That's fair.
There are so many things to do in this community. My wife and I, we love stay active. We'll bike and hike and walk and run and do all of those things. But there's just going to a restored theater called the Astra in town. They always bring in great entertainment. That's always fun, and high school sports, college sports. As I mentioned, I'm an IU grad. It's just an hour and 15 minutes up the road, so we can go take in that. We can go to Nashville, Evansville. It doesn't matter. Things are, it's kind of a regional hub here. So, just really like staying active.
Okay. What about you, Jason?
I've got 4 kids, so I'm wrapped up in youth sports and high school sports. But when we do stuff with friends, it's a lot of the things that it's outdoors, or it's the theater that Mark mentioned, or there's wineries around, there's breweries around, there's Patoka Lake, there's Virgin State Forest, there's things to do. I get bothered by when people say there's nothing to do around here. People say that no matter where they live. There's plenty to do everywhere if you just look for it.
Yeah, sure.
And you have a little bit of a sense of adventure. We don't get bored very often because sometimes some of the fun things to do are right in front of you. You just never tried it. So,
Okay. Follow-up question. What are some things that Jet has done for like veterans since all 3 of you have been here?
Well, I can, having the longest tenure here, I can say that, ever since I've been an associate owner at Jasper Engines, once a year during, Veterans Day, this particular week, we would have a luncheon, and members of our executive team would come down and thank us for our service. And, that, for the most part, was kind of how we did things. And it just so happened that here recently, Charles and I got asked if we would, play a part or get started something a little bigger and broader than that, something that truly recognized our service members, active or veterans, communicated with them, on a more holistic base, and how can we recruit? How can we get more people transitioning that take a chance on coming to this community, because we don't have any posts here in Jasper, so they're going to find their way here. Well, we feel like it's important to help them, help them identify a location that they can set some roots and find a good company to work for. So that's what we're doing. We're going to break that out this week. We've got an internal communication page. We've got an external page that we've set up, and we've got a lot of ideas, and I'll let him share it.
So whenever I started here in 2019, a few months after I started, Jet had partnered with Brothers for Veterans to do a boat fishing competition. And so that was nice to come up here, not knowing anybody, be actually involved in something that both for veterans and something with the company. That was a lot of fun. Earlier this year, we set up 2 teams to go out to Cool Springs, I believe it is. They did a clay shoot out there. And so we had some people, I think some of our pilots and some other leadership was on one team, and then we had a team of just veterans too. So being able to give them that opportunity to get out and do something they normally wouldn't do, or something they find enjoyable. I want to kind of continue that with this new veterans group, either setting up events, things for them to do, or finding connections, people who put on those kind of events, getting them engaged.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that I seen Jet at the Veterans Oktoberfest last month, so it was good to see, the representation and being able to give back and be represented in the military community. So thank you all for,
It was good to get out there and be involved with the community. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's up to us to network and develop those relationships, right? Anyone who's served, we know what that is like, and there's a brotherhood, sisterhood that evolves from that, and we've just felt like, had somebody reach out today that is coming to a lunch, and they're like, I want to get involved, I want to get engaged in something, and so that's nice, and being able to provide resources to our veteran community population here within work. If somebody's having a tough time or they need a little directional help, whatever, we all would like to have that one-stop shop kind of location to be able to know where we can get that from. So yeah, it's been fun.
What would you say, Jason, for somebody that's looking for opportunities, how would they kind of go about getting started?
Yeah, I mean, our jobs are posted online, but you can apply, but the best way to make yourself visible and to directly contact us is reach out to us. There's a couple different recruiters, there's a couple different people you can reach out to, but anybody in our department, anybody in our company, we're pretty tight, and everybody knows a lot of people. So if you know somebody here, or you're interested, then reach out to us and make yourself a little bit more visible, and we can have that conversation and see early in that process what seat on the bus might be the best fit. So yeah, reach out.
You guys are doing hiring. You guys do weekly hiring events too, right?
We do open interviews. Yeah, that's a good point. And they're not, at this point, they're not weekly. They're more a couple times a month or every month. But we try to do those during the week. And then we also try to have one every month that's on a Saturday, so it's a little bit more accessible for folks that are already working.
That's
or
good to
maybe
know.
they're busy during the week. So typically those Saturday ones are in the morning, 8 to 11. We post that on social media quite a bit. And then during the week, they're usually full days, like from 8 to 3. And on an open interview day, you can come in at any point, and you'll interview with a member of our people services team.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, is there anything that you want to close out with before we end today's episode?
Thank you for your efforts and partnering with us, and we appreciate that very much. It's important. I can only speak on my behalf, but having served, that's something that I'll have for the rest of my life. So thank you for thinking of us.
I'm pretty much going to second everything he just said. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to all the opportunities to come. We both work with you guys and see what it is we can put together to help our associates here, our veteran associates, and then what it is we might be able to give back to the community and you guys too.
Perfect. Jason?
And I was trying to get better at it. You asked what we're doing. Well, we're a company built on continuous improvement, right? So yeah, we're doing A, B, and C already, but what's next, and what are we already doing that we can do better, or what are we not doing that we can do? So we're always looking for those avenues. So and there's relationship. We hope that we can continue to grow it, and we thank you for believing in us and investing in us.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Jasper Engine and Transmission, a great company here in the Hoosier State. You can go ahead and check them out on social, and also go to their website to see any career postings or opportunities they may have. Also, one more thing. Hey, join us for the INvets Summit that's happening on December 3rd from 5 to 9. Come out, be social, connect with other people, and I guess we can help bring close to this great 2025. So that being said, until next time, thank you, gents. Appreciate you greatly, and we'll see you on the next episode. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
INvets is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to helping transitioning service members and their families find great careers and communities here in Indiana.
The way we usually connect with veterans is in-person events. They are assigned to a case manager, which is one of the 5 veteran engagement managers who are located in 5 regions around Indiana. They'll really work hard to connect with them. And then they complete the profile in more detail about the types of careers they want, the skills they have, where they might live, do they have a spouse. So it's a very personal service. And we try to match them with the right career, and we try to match them with the right community.
We take our job seriously, understanding that we're not selling somebody a thing, we're helping somebody move into the next phase of their life. That's not lost on us.
We are not moving one person, we're moving a whole family, and every member of that family has a different need. We try to have those open discussions about everything.
So what we realized was just helping somebody find a job when they get out of the military isn't enough. There's got to be more to it than that, especially if we want to create lifelong Hoosiers. So we started thinking about what can we do outside of helping people find great careers to get them connected to their community. Transition is not transactional, it's transformational. And it's something that we talk with our staff about all the time. We cannot look at transition out of the military as a transaction of leaving one job and going to another. It's a transformational moment in somebody's life, and we hope and believe that should be Indiana. And once they're here, we remind them that we're here for life. So if there's anything that you need once you've gotten here, you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, a way to get involved in your community, or you just need some resources.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INvets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INvets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INvets, visit us at invets.org today.